very important day, not just for the 31st National Youth Conference of Let's Make a Difference. This is a very important day for Let's Make a Difference. And I'm kind of overwhelmed of being in the position of having to hold this space. I was thinking about it in the morning while being quite anxious, but the energy of the space has allowed me to channel myself and center myself here. Good institutions celebrate history. Visionary institutions make history. Today is a very rare and fortuitous day for us as we stand poised at the confluence of two remarkable landmarks in our perpetual journey. Today, Let's Make a Difference will release the third edition of the Impact Report for 2024-2025 and host perhaps the first major yoga conference in the state of Maharashtra. And each of you is part of this major seminal moment for us. We're all here as a family together, making history. In Vidalbhai's session today morning, I caught that statement that he put up on the slide, and I kind of wrote it down and put it into this presentation. Lead me from ignorance to wisdom, from restlessness to peace, from desire to contentment. I added one more line in there. And lead me from my laziness to Vidalbhai. I'm telling you, in all the years that I've worked with him, I have been inspired and enriched with virtues and great experiences and lots of waking up at 4:30 in the morning. But ever so often I am stunned by his infinite vision and challenges that he takes on, be it getting us volunteers to manually analyze 250 surveys without any technology in 48 hours, hosting a youth conference for 400 people, and when the dining room can only host 300, he made us put the tables into the kitchen. Running back-to-back conferences for the senior management and deputy managing director of Air India with a bunch of kids for volunteers. Targeting a regional conference for 1,000 students in Jamshedpur and achieving it. I thought he went a little too far when he told me that I would be speaking in that very conference in front of 1,000 students in Hindi for 1.5 hours. I said, yeah, bahar jaunga. But he made me do it, and I delivered. Most people happily set mediocre targets and hit them. Vidalbhai sets impossible targets and makes them possible. This impact book is another epic impossibility. A massive editorial enterprise of over 250 pages, which he has successfully made possible for 3 years running. Imagine doing 250 pages worth of initiatives and effort every year, and then filling those pages meaningfully with the precision of a brilliant writer. That is what Let's Make a Difference Impact Book 2024-2025 is all about. The next slide, please. Each page emphasizes just the level of influence and focus Let's Make a Difference it has. Right from a small institution in Odisha or Uttar Pradesh to remote areas like Bhanpura in Madhya Pradesh to massive colleges like lovely Professional University in Punjab as well as KBS in Jharkhand, and of course our National Youth Conference that has been running for over 30 years. The next slide, please. Take a look at this slide, and in the words of the famous Elon Musk, let this sink in. This is one slide, but it speaks 1,000 pages. 62,997 people connected. 30,113 individuals going through the deep Let's Make a Difference experience. 234 inmates at a remand home who we communicated with and sat in a classroom with, hearing their stories, connecting with them. 22 countries, 28 states, 207 cities. And look at that figure over there. This is our 170th program. The next slide, please. This is an example of the precision, detail, and transparency we as an organization expect of ourselves, right to the down to the last ruby, looking and analyzing and making our programs more efficient. Next slide, please. We focused on the SDG, the Sustainable Development Goal of the United Nations. Not only did we analyze it and understand it, but actually we also made recommendations to the United Nations about other aspects that need to be included in the SDG, including quality education, good health, well-being, and reduced inequalities. We're also about building relationships and forming bonds across the country and the world. This is a task meeting thanks to Vidal Vice close friend Shingo with the Minister of Transport of Japan at his home. Keep going with it. I remember meeting Vidal Bhai on the evening of this day when Rashid Bhai and Ashwin Bhai presented Vidal Bhai with the CSR check. It was a very, very touching moment. Please. Another slide that speaks volumes. Great personalities who connected with us, inspired us, and spoken to us in the course of our conferences. Just take a look at the diversity there. You've got Jadhav Priyam, a single man who built an entire forest in the Northeast. You've got character actor Vinay Pathak. You've got the LGBTQ rights activist from Pune. And somewhere there on the left-hand side you have upstairs. On the left-hand side you have a man who helped lead a nation and made us a nuclear power. A legacy that will endure forever. That was just such a privilege having them. Become very good friends with. Good to be friends with the Chief Minister of Goa. This is our connection with the IC Center for Governance, and we hope to take it forward in a meaningful, collaborative way. Next slide, please. This is the group photograph of the last conference we held at Asia Plateau, the National Youth Conference 2024. Over 200 students. Some of them are here in the audience, see if you can spot yourself. The National Youth Conference is a melee of, it's a slice of real India, right there. Rural, urban India, students, professionals, all coming together, staying together, and becoming family in the space of 70 days. Sorry, could you statistics? Yes, they were impressive, but in the end, those are cold numbers. But this impact book has given a space for each one of us participants and volunteers to share our genuine stories of change. And there have been some truly remarkable stories of change. Someone who participated in the riots in Gujarat, realizing where he went wrong, going back and apologizing to those who we hurt. Individuals who chose to live a comfortable life, going back and fundamentally dedicating themselves to public life. Remarkable stories, all of which are contained in this book. Conferences as well as regional conferences. I can tell you as a volunteer that no matter how many times I have come and volunteered and taken time off from my work, I have always received more than I have given. And Let's Make a Difference, no matter how much you do, you will always take back more than you give. And all of that is also detailed in the experiences module in the Let's Make a Difference impact. Keep going. I want to end with Kumar. This is one of the finest manifestations of impact in these pages. Let's make a difference connection with the students of Eklavya Tamar happened purely by chance, wherever I just came upon the school on the highway about 15 years ago. I chose to start a conference there in 2011. Since then, he has held a conference every year, with the exception of COVID. This school sat on the side of a highway in a naxalite belt, connecting with the students, transforming them from uncertain, violent individuals into people of decency and hope. That Eklavya achieved for the very first time. In class 11, with the exception of 2 students, everybody passed. Three students passed with 90%, 21 with distinction, and 28 with first class. The principal told me this had never happened before. Class 12, every single student passed. 100% overall result, and to put that in context, in the whole state, the average was 70%. Eklavya Tamar was the only one with 100%. But again, I want to take you beyond the numbers. Thanks to Vidamai, I had the privilege of having a brief conversation with Mr. Abhijit Shukla, the principal of Eklavya Tamar. And this is what he shared with me, that he was amazed by how organic and self-driven the progress of these students was academically. But what touched him most, walking into school every day, was just seeing how decent and civil they had become. The level of respect they had, not just for their teachers, but for each other, because the exams were over and the 12th standard students had no consequence if they were to fight with each other or be indisciplined or be abusive. There's nothing the authorities could do. And they held a community gathering entirely on their own. They held a circle much like we do. That is what I would call the Let's Make a Difference impact. He also mentioned a guy called Samir Murmu, who attended the youth conference in 2024. And he said about how this one individual coming back with a vision and a choice of a better life for himself has become an aspiration and a gold standard for them, and they all want to think bigger. Tamar is an endearing case study of the impact of Let's Make a Difference that goes beyond the 200 pages of pulp. It's a shining instance of the potential and capacity of Let's Make a Difference, and all of us in this room to make a dent in the universe, driven by conviction, authenticity, and the belief that we can all be better versions of ourselves. With that, it's my privilege to invite Mr. Prabhat Kumar, Mr. Viral Mazumdar, and Sunil and Tanishka to please unwrap and launch the Let's Make a Difference impact book for the year 2024-2025. And I would be remiss not to also thank Sayok and Tanu, who are not in this room but have been essential to this book becoming a reality. Let's give it a big hand.
I feel good to hold this in my hand because I know so much of midnight oil is being burned to create this. So I really thank Sayok and Tanu for putting this, and we wanted to release it on this day. This was a thought well conceptualized more than a month back that we will do this during the session of yoga, and it's happened today. I feel good about it.